All right, we're going to talk about something really serious today. A moment where just a few seconds can literally change everything. The difference between life, death, or permanent disability. And this isn't some abstract health class lecture. This is about what you would do if this happened to someone right in front of you.
Just imagine hearing those words from a child. That moment of just pure confusion, turning to terror as they see that something is terribly, terribly wrong. That's not a line from a movie, by the way. It's from a real account of a stroke. And in that one instant, it's not panic that saves a life, it's knowledge.
So I want you to ask yourself that right now. If you saw that, would you know exactly what to do next? Finding the answer to that question, well, that's what this is all about.
Okay, let's just get right to it. The first 3 minutes of a stroke can decide whether a person ever walks again, or speaks again, or even wakes up again. So we're going to start with the most critical part, your immediate action plan.
This first step is the one rule you can never, ever break. Don't wait and see. Don't hesitate. The single most important thing you can possibly do is get professional help on the way, immediately. Every single second you wait, brain cells are dying.
So, while you're on the phone with 911, you can run this super quick test. You've probably heard of it. It's the universal standard for spotting a stroke, and it's called FAST. F is for face. Ask them to smile. See if one side droops. A is for arms. Have them raise both arms. Does one start to drift down? S is for speech. Is it slurred? Can they repeat a simple sentence back to you? And T. T is for time. A crucial reminder that if you see any of this, you call for help right away.
Okay, so you've called for help. You've done the fast check. But now you have to wait for the ambulance, and that can feel like an absolute eternity. The good news is there is something simple yet incredibly powerful you can do in those minutes.
This is called the blood shift maneuver, and it's all about using gravity and breath as your tools. First things first, prevent a fall. Get them safely down on the floor. Then, have them lie flat on their back, and you're going to lift their legs up. This simple move helps gravity redirect precious blood flow back toward the brain. And finally, you guide their breathing, slowly in, slowly out. This does wonders for calming the nervous system, which is just absolutely critical in a moment of crisis.
So you might be thinking, do these simple steps really make a difference? Well, the impact is staggering. According to a 2024 review in the Journal of Stroke Medicine, patients who got immediate help like this, like the blood shift maneuver, actually cut their risk of permanent brain damage by nearly 40%. I mean, just let that sink in. 40%. That's huge.
So now we know what to do, but to really understand why it works, we need to take a quick look at what's actually going on inside the brain when a stroke hits.
Put simply, a stroke is basically a brain attack. It happens when something, usually a blood clot, suddenly cuts off blood flow to a part of the brain. And without that blood, brain cells are starved of oxygen and they start to die. That's why every single minute counts.
You know, a neurologist in our source material had this brilliant way of explaining it. He said, think of the brain as a huge, bustling city. The blood vessels are the power lines. When a blood clot blocks one of those lines, a whole part of the city just goes dark. Whether it's the part that controls speech or movement or your vision, boom, the power's out.
Now here's the really scary part. Sometimes the power doesn't go out completely, it just flickers. You might feel a sudden numbness, or you can't find the right word, or you get dizzy, and then 60 seconds later, it's gone. People think, phew, I'm okay, but they're not. And that's the absolute key here. Those little flickering moments, sometimes called a mini-stroke, they are not dodged bullets. As one doctor put it so perfectly, they are the body's loudest whisper, a giant warning flare that a major power outage could be right around the corner. Ignoring it is like hearing a fire alarm and just going back to sleep.
So what happens after the crisis is over? The story doesn't end in the ER. For survivors, that's really just the beginning of this incredible and often difficult journey, the road to recovery.
But here's the amazing thing. The brain isn't like a machine with broken parts. It's a living, adaptable network. It has this incredible ability to rewire itself, called neuroplasticity. So when one pathway gets damaged, the brain can literally create new detours, rerouting the traffic to get function back. Recovery isn't some miracle. It's just biology at its most resilient.
And that road to recovery, it really focuses on the whole person. Physically, you have therapies to help regain movement and strength. Cognitively, you have training to help rebuild those pathways for memory and problem solving. And just as important is the emotional side, addressing the very real depression and anxiety that can come after a stroke.
A strong recovery really is built on consistency. Therapy is non-negotiable, of course, but so are lifestyle changes. Things like a heart-healthy diet can slash the risk of a second stroke by 30%. It's about managing your blood pressure, sure, but it's also about the huge role that caregivers and friends play. Staying connected is essential for healing, both in mind and body.
And that brings us to our final, and maybe the most empowering section of all. How do we shift from just reacting to a stroke to actively building a life that's resistant to one in the first place?
Well, prevention can start the moment you open your eyes in the morning. This simple 3-minute reset helps get your circulation going safely. See, when you pump your calves, you're firing up these muscles called the soleus muscles, which doctors sometimes call the body's second heart, because they help push blood back up toward the brain. Studies actually show these simple moves can boost blood flow to the brain by almost 20%. Pretty cool, right?
And beyond that morning routine, prevention is all about consistency. It's about taking your meds, keeping an eye on your blood pressure, getting some activity in, and making smart choices about things like smoking and drinking. But it's also about managing stress. As we're learning more and more, staying calm is just really good for your blood vessels.
Look, if you only remember one thing for a moment of crisis, I want it to be this piece of advice from an ER doctor. It's a simple little mantra that can turn panic into action. Breathe, stay low, and let gravity help you.
And so we end right back where we started, with a question. But hopefully now it feels a little different. It's not just about what you do in a moment of panic anymore. It's about being truly prepared,